Nicole, we're parents, right? I mean, you think of these 19 families that yesterday dropped off their children, third, fourth grade. Tomorrow is the end of school. Tomorrow. And those 19 families couldn't and will never be able to pick them up again. And Nicole, I think about little Javier, 10 years old in fourth grade, who yesterday was given a special recognition in school in the morning, and his mom came to witness that ceremony, and that was the last time she would see him alive. And I think of the little girl who had this little recognition like this that she was given on that same event here, and beaming with pride. And then they say that she died when she called 911. A little fourth grader, and the two teachers that lost their lives. And Nicole, you know, I think of how is it that we can describe what is an infinite, permanent pain. And this community of 17,000 is so tight-knit, Nicole. It's, you know, we're about 60 miles from San Antonio. We're about 70 miles from the Mexican border. And I thought, wrong, when I came here, that this was probably a place where people pass through on their way to a different life. But I was wrong. This is a community where people stay, and generations of people have built roots here, and others are laying seeds for their future. Those seeds that were being germinated here in this school, and see where the officers are, and behind them there's that brick wall there that gives the name of the school. On the top, welcome. Now it's surrounded by flowers, people that keep bringing flowers in memory of these lives that were lost. And then on the bottom, bienvenidos in Spanish. 80% of the community is Latino here. 90% of the students and the staff at this school are Latino. Their dreams, their aspirations, their hopes evaporated 26 hours ago. And I think it's important that we talk about these people and about the infinite, deep difficulty and pain that they lived through and they will be living through for the rest of their lives. And, you know, it's easy to talk about these things, but man, it is so real, so visceral, so deep, so infinite. And this is a community that comes together, but boy, what a hit. Just what a hit.
Jose, how are they holding each other up? Because that's clear in your reporting as well.
Yes, there's faith. Nicole, there's faith. There is the belief that one has to continue. I just spoke just a little while ago, Nicole, to an 18-year-old young man whose sister was here in that fourth grade classroom. She lost her life. I'm not giving her name because it hasn't been publicized yet. He was just saying, I don't know. He goes, I don't know how to even understand what happened. He's going to be an NBA player, he told me. And his sister was going to be a baseball player. How are they doing? You know, I don't know, other than I think that they are clinging on to whatever they can to continue. Paso a paso, step by step, breath by breath, to across the unsurmountable, you know? I don't know. I know that there's a lot of love here. There's a church I'm going to be going to later, and there's a lot of people that are meeting and counseling each other. But you know what, Nicole? 17,000 people, every single person here knows someone affected by this. Every single person in this community knows someone affected by this. I was talking to someone said, the teacher taught me. One teacher had been here 17 years, the other one more than 23. And they're people who just were going about their daily lives 48 hours before the school year would end. And what ended is the light, the future, the dreams, the hopes, the aspirations of innocent little boys and girls and two teachers that were with them in their final moments, you know?